Tonight, Nashville is mourning the loss of a man who changed our city for the better. John Seigenthaler died at his home today. Seigenthaler leaves behind many friends in politics, journalism, and especially the civil rights movement. Fox 17's Sky Arnold joins us live downtown tonight with this story. Sky.
Well, Stacey, we all remember a little earlier this year when Metro Nashville renamed this popular pedestrian bridge in honor of John Seigenthaler. It was actually here in the 1950s he saved a man from committing suicide on this very bridge. But tonight, really, it's his work in the 1960s many are remembering, both helping protect and promote the civil rights movement.
He was like a brother to me, and I truly miss him.
To understand why Rip Patton gets emotional when talking about John Seigenthaler Sr., you need to know the roots of their friendship. Patton was among Nashville's freedom riders who traveled to southern cities in 1961 to make a statement against racially segregated businesses.
Our intent was to fill the jails in Jackson, Mississippi.
As an assistant to the U.S. Attorney, John Seigenthaler went with them in hopes of helping keep the freedom riders safe. But he ended up getting knocked out himself while trying to save two women during a race riot in Alabama.
I think it took nerves to pull in there in his car and try to get those females out of harm's way.
Seigenthaler would continue to stick his neck out when he became editor of the Tennessean a year later and directed the paper to cover the civil rights movement extensively.
We had trouble here in Nashville. We could have had big trouble if it hadn't been for folks like John Seigenthaler to get this community to listen to the better angels of our nature.
Some say it's no coincidence Seigenthaler was listening to those better angels.
He was a man who was deeply committed to the Catholic faith.
Bishop David Choby says it's that faith that drove Seigenthaler to the civil rights movement in the first place.
He was a man who had a profound sense of appreciation, for the dignity of persons. And he was a man who was very much committed to speaking out on behalf of individuals who, for whatever reason, might have been treated unjustly.
People like Rip Patton, who continued to be friends with Seigenthaler long after the Freedom Riders took their last ride.
John said that Nashville was, the Jim Crow laws were here were worse than apartheid. And so he did what he could from his office to make sure that we had some good coverage.
Now, John Seigenthaler played one final role recently in the civil rights era movement, if you will, when he helped convince Tennessee State University to give honorary doctorate degrees to some 14 civil rights activists, including Patton, who you just heard from. They were all kicked out of the university in 1961. We're live downtown. Sky on Fox 17 News.